Hi guys, back to do a quick video. Sorry, that was a bit of a wasn't the right time to sigh. Back to do a video. Picked up a few things over the summer. I haven't really been doing anything VC wise because cycling seemed to take up most of my spare time. But anyway, what have I picked up? I got invited round to a property because there was a whole load of old records in it, to have a dig through, see if there's anything worth keeping or that I wanted. So I pulled out a few things. I've only cleaned up and really listened to 3 of them so far. This, which I just pulled out because it was in such good condition, is the Scaffold, and I love the cover as well of that. It's more of a comedy album. This is Roger McGough, who's a kind of, certainly over here, a pretty famous poet. And this is Mike McGear. They did an album called McGough and McGear. And then John Gorman. But Mike McGear, his real name's actually Mike McCartney, and he's Paul McCartney's brother. Which doesn't really say much, but it's quite an interesting fact. But yeah, this is more comedy than anything else. But like I said, it's immaculate. Another one that was in there was this BBC radiophonic music. This is a compilation of bits and pieces. Got Delia, Derbyshire, David Kane and John Baker. Delia, Derbyshire obviously being a legend. Well, they're probably all legends really, but she's the one that everyone's heard of. But again, this was, you can see, pristine condition. Most of the stuff there really suffered from water damage. So how these ones survived so well, I'll never really know. This was in there as well. This is Archie Fisher with Orfeo. This is kind of really good folk. It's not quite as interesting as I like. Most of my folk kind of that I like verges on the kind of weirder side of folk. This is maybe a bit too straight, but interesting enough to keep me listening. It wasn't. Some folk I can just find it a bit twee and boring, but this, I'm sure I'll listen to it again, and I think it's pretty rare as well. It's on Decca, and yeah, it also features Rab Noakes and Barbara Dixon. This was something I found in a charity shop, but I just had to grab because I'm in the mood for this kind of thing occasionally. Bad But Beautiful by Eartha Kitt. Again, this was just pretty much flawless condition wise. And sometimes I like to use these things as palette cleansers. And she's something else. Look at that. So that was fun to listen to. This Anvil Flutes and Capricorn Voices. This is a kind of one of those it's almost sounds like it should be the soundtrack to like a kind of 60s film. Not quite as psychedelic as something like Hair, but and not quite as straight as maybe a kind of Cliff Richard Summer Holiday, but somewhere in between. What was that one when they came over and they had to find that French girl 12 hats or whatever it was, and they were running around London nicking, I can't remember what that was, like a fireman's helmet and one of the guards from Buckingham Palace. and a policeman's helmet. I can't remember what that was. I might have just made it up. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's kind of sunshine pop, but almost to the edge of being like a stage musical. I think I've shown this before. This is Love's first album. And this is a UK. Yeah, I did show this. It's UK press on Gold Electra, but it has two side 2 labels. So it doesn't have a label for side 1. They're both side 2. So it's kind of a mispressing, which is quite cool. And I think if I've shown that, I've shown this as well. Bert Jansch's Birthday Blues. Again, this was a charity shop find. Occasionally good things turn up. It's a bit scratched, but it plays through surprisingly well. A lot of these old pressings do. This was something that is still quite scratched, but actually cost me a bit of money. It's Terry Reid's debut album. Fantastic kind of early rock guitar and singer. When the Yardbirds split up and Jimmy Page was going to create the new Yardbirds, this was the guy he went to and wanted his vocalist. But he was touring with Cream, I think it was at the time. So turned down the offer, but told Jimmy Page about this guy he'd heard called Robert Plant, and they obviously became Led Zeppelin. But yeah, if you like, I've forgotten what his name is now. The singer out the Small Faces. My mind's gone blank. I've been up since 5 this morning. But anyway, yeah. If you like the Small Faces, that'll give you an idea of what his vocals are like. But yeah, this is a great album. He wasn't called Super Lungs for nothing. And that has got to be the most rock and roll picture of all time. So yeah, see if you like all that early 60s, well not early 60s, late 60s rock, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, the heavy kind of stuff, definitely check this out, because you will not be disappointed. And finally, something that arrived yesterday that kind of spurred me on to actually make this video. In the post, I received this big box, which some of you may have already guessed, contains this, which is the special edition of the new Radiohead album, which is fantastic. But I'm not going to dwindle on that. But the packaging for that is really good. It's one of the best packages I've seen. Regardless of whether you like the album, you can't help but say the packaging is good. Yeah, so that's it really. I've also completely upgraded my stereo. If you watch some of my few videos back, I got an old Sansui record deck, which I was delighted with, and I fired it up and it sounded great, and I was toying with the idea of swapping out my 1210 for the Sansui, and then I ended up buying basically 2 new stereos at house clearance, which have just absolutely blown me away. But I've actually posted pictures. I'll make a video of them at some point, but I've posted pictures of them on my Instagram, which I've started. If anyone was following me on Twitter, you might as well unfollow me, because I probably will never post anything on Twitter again, because I've realised Instagram is more suitable for what I was hoping to achieve. But yeah, the kind of best part of the stereo I've now posted on Instagram, so go to Instagram and check it out. I'll make a video of it at some point and post it on here. But also there was a second stereo as well, which I haven't put on Instagram yet, which, had I just got the second stereo, I would have been blown away with. But the good stereo that I did get is properly floored me how good it sounds. So yeah, so check that out. I just wish I had space in my house for it, because I don't. But like I said, I'll make a proper video for that at another time. But this is coming up for 12 minutes now. Hope everyone's doing fine. It's nice to see